All right, well, what do you know? Real Life Live. We're back. We're here for, this won't be a long one here. But, well, guess who's back? Chompy's back. Okay. All right, now we were talking about some last night, but he's back and he was talking to me a little bit earlier, and actually we're gonna go back. Well, he wants to go. We'll go back. We're going back to Nolan Wales for a minute here for the night. But we're coming back. We got something big coming, so we're gonna talk about that. But we were gonna kind of let this rest, but we have to come back because of some more twists and turns, and what Jumpy was talking about, and now I'm kind of rolling with that because I kind of believe a little bit of that, and it's possible. So what you say? What are we talking about here? Well, rumor has it kind of like, but and maybe it's believable that Ashlee Cole, okay, the you know the judge, okay, the judge, who came out, right after Nolan Wells was dead, killed, murdered, what we say, you know. So, and she came right out after that immediately, okay, and she was kind of fishy on that. But now it's another rumor coming out now. Uh-oh. It's about Nolan Wells and the judge, Ashlee Cole. I hear, or I heard, or somebody said, or a little birdie, came up and tweeted that Ashlee Cole, she was pregnant. And who was the daddy? What we hear, it was Nolan Wells. He was the daddy. She had got pregnant by Nolan Wells. Okay? Now, I checked on a possible abortion. I kind of tried. But that's kind of private knowledge there. You can't really do that. You got to have, I guess you got to be, I don't know, you just can't do it, or just ordinary citizen can't do that, so try it though, so. And now I'm thinking about that, hey, now we're saying, hey, that is a possibility. Because, he got murdered, and a lot of people are saying, who did it, because we have all these questions, everything still hasn't been answered. Now I'm hearing that, with the autopsy came out, now they're kind of still holding shit. Okay, so, I don't know. We're gonna get some answers sooner or later, but hey, I'm thinking something else might be going on here, and I'm kind of believing kind of like this, let's remember now Nolan, he stayed there a lot, overnight, overnight. And hey, just because Ashlee Cole, is a damn judge, that don't mean nothing. They're not the highest quality just because they say they high quality. That doesn't mean anything. Okay? Because a lot of them are a piece of garbage, straight up dirt, doing things behind the back, doing three things with teenagers. Okay, and this is a case right here. Okay, let's remember now it's a whole 400-year kind of deal here. Black woman. White woman and young black man. Okay, sorry about that. It's a history there. So when there's a judge there, she's young, her husband, I forgot his name. We'll have it. I forgot it. We'll he's kind of, but there is a kind of, so we're gonna come, I forgot his name. Sometimes that happens. Okay, we'll come back. But her husband. Now, if we kind of are coming, or going on that road with, the judge sleeping with Nolan Wells, on not a regular thing, but it might have been a night, where everybody this and that, she's, she's young and kind of, hot, blah, 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 might have been, a little horny or whatever, the husband ain't there, now I hear a little bit more about, the stepson, not the real son, stepson, and Ashlee Cole, her. She's kind of seems to be, rumor has it, she's a little loose. Okay? So, something dirty might have been, some adult might have been going on, a lot of stuff that shouldn't have been going on under the cover, okay? And one night somebody slipped and, one thing led to another and she got knocked up. Now that's a rumor. It's a million of them as we, keep trying to get to the end of this case. That's the problem to me. How long has it, been taking for all this, for the answers to come up, and all that? So, I agree with Choppy talking, when he's talking about that. Now, let's see. Well, okay. We were looking at, he wanted to say, talking about the officer, Tatum. He fronting for the KKK. Man, and hey, let me say that, just because those uniforms are blue, that don't mean nothing. Those are white uniforms, okay? The KKK has kind of infiltrated the American police force. We got to shut that down. There's a way to do that. We're gonna talk about that later. Yeah. So now this Sambo Coon, Officer Tatum sitting up there interviewing Warren Hudson, the so-called friend of Nolan Wells, and like everybody else was saying, I say the same thing. If you didn't come to see him at his house, or you didn't meet his parents here, you wasn't his friend. You was just a minor associate, If you didn't meet his mama, we black folks here, you didn't meet his mama, you his friend. Okay, now, so, like I said, still no answers. So I'm thinking about, Elmore. You see what I'm saying? Because I would think I'd be getting angry if I was Elmore. The shit been dragging on. Now we gotta wait for the more results for the autopsy. Sounded like Ben Crump. By the way, he's doing a great job. He stumbled one or two when I was reading that, autopsy, Well, we all do that. I do it. But he's doing a great job. Awesome. And he must be tired. I mean, goddamn, I saw him on another thing. He's going from city to city trying to defend all the black people that are being attacked. And that can come to an end. And there's a way to do that. Okay. Now, so, Elmore, like I said, he must be getting angry, and what about Ashlee, with the pregnancy, and now I checked on the abortion. I don't know if she got one or not. I don't know what happened, you see what I'm saying? But, they're rich, so, a lot of shit could have went down and nobody knew. But one thing happened. Nolan got murdered. Somebody got angry. The husband? We don't know. I don't know if he found out. What do you think? If the husband found out that Ashlee Cole got pregnant and the father was Nolan Wells, then you figure it out. The fishes. Okay? Hey, and he might have got drugged one night, at their house. He was there a lot. Now, hey, let's not put it past. Anything can happen. This brand new world, crazy world, really crazy. So anything can happen. That could happen. One night, Nolan's kind of, hey, young and shit, hey, they partying. She, kind of takes advantage of that. Let's think what she did. She's lawyering up right after he got killed. So she's thinking. Her brain is kind of. So I'm like, hey, I'm not trusting her. I'm not trusting none of them. All them white folks. And Nolan can't talk. So it's a shame. But it's like, hey, it's a tangled web. That's what I see. It's all going to be unraveled. You got to get those phones, and you got to look at those texts, and that's going to unravel some things. Now, Choppy, he's violent guy though, but he says, hey, if there's answers not coming shortly, if he was Elmore, he'd be working on some people with his fist. Okay, I get it, Choppy. Okay. Well, as we kind of wrap up, we had to talk about that case, Nolan Wells, and I'm kind of going with that. There is that's it's not 100% or anything, or totally checked out, whatever. Everything else floating around, rumor this, rumor that. That's a rumor, but I'm going with that because it could be true. Yeah. Nolan Wells got Ashlee Cole pregnant, and that's why he had to go. Okay? That's what Chompy says. He was murdered by her husband because he found out that Nolan Wells had impregnated Ashlee Cole, his wife. All right. Now we'll be back, and one thing, and we were to close. We were looking at some videos about all the things that are going on with the hanging and all this. Man, seems like black folks getting hanged. You know, uh, we're getting hung like hanging like plums. Yeah, getting hung like plums. But hey, like Choppy said though, what he said? Quote, we can do to them what they do to us. Hanging, shooting, physical violence. That's what he said. Choppy. He said if they can do it to black folks can do it to them. Ain't nothing stopping us to do to them what they doing to us. So when we seeing all this hanging, I'm looking at that too. Well, damn, they can be hanging from trees too. I mean, if that's the way it's gonna go down, because it's got to stop or it's got to be an equalizer. Okay, so we close with that and with that quote, and like he said, quote, we can do to them what they do to us. Okay. All right, guys. And we'll be back. Real Life Live.